What's good, YouTube? It's your boy BreezyBYT back with another video. I don't know. I thought that was cool or something. I'm here with a video. It's a long one, but it's one of those criminal mind ones. So get your popcorn, get your drink. We're gonna be here for a while. Oh, I'm gonna give you time to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. So every time you hit it, I will send you notification videos to your phone every time I drop. Bang! Yes! Today, I have, and this is a sad one though, one of the Instagram models did the unthinkable. Me and y'all would never do. We have to find out. I'm not gonna tell you, I'm not gonna spoil y'all. I didn't watch it yet, so I don't know what happened. I just heard from the news, and all of a sudden my boy Chills posted a video of it. So we gonna react to it. Let's get to it. Bars.
Meet Anna a former model and social media star. If you followed her on Instagram, you'd think her life was great. Poolside photos, expensive cars, high-end fashion, and all the other common influencer tropes filled her feed, portraying a glamorous lifestyle. But behind the scenes, Anna was hiding some big secrets from her mother, and when they came to light, it led to Anna being charged with something most people would not believe is possible. Welcome to Criminals and Kittens, a brand new true crime series hosted by me, where I take a deep dive into some of the most fascinating, unbelievable true crime stories from around the world and present them to you with a fun twist. In this series, you will not only hear about crazy crime stories that actually happened, but you will also meet some really cute kittens. Today, I am at the Calgary Humane Society with these kittens to present to you this brutal story of Anna and her mother. This is exactly the kind of story that will truly open your eyes to how dangerous and crazy the world we live in is, and it'll make you think twice about who you are following on social media, because they may not be exactly who you think they are. But without further delay, let's get into the story of Anna, the Instagram model with a big secret.
Chapter 1.
If you are watching this video right now, chances are you have a handful of social media apps on your phone that you use on a regular basis, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram. Instagram can provide glamour, fame, and fortune to those who are successful on it. One of the people that wanted this fame more than anything else was 21-year-old Anna, a woman from the Eastern European country of Moldova. If you were to take a look at Anna's Instagram page, which has now been removed, you wouldn't think anything was out of the ordinary. By all accounts, her page looked like any other Instagram models, with photos and videos of herself gaining traction and getting plenty of likes. Gaining success on Instagram, especially for someone as young as Anna, is undoubtedly a good feeling for many. As well, it was what she wanted to achieve as far back as she could remember. But in order to get a full grasp on how Anna became an Instagram model, let's take it back to her early days. Anna was born in 1999 to her mother Praskova Likovic. Although there is not much known about her home life, from when she was a young child, it is believed that Anna led the life of a typical girl growing up in the early 2000s until the late 2010s. Much like plenty of kids out there in the world, when you're a kid, you often hate getting asked what you want to do when you grow up because you're still so young and you have your whole life ahead of you. Who knows what you want to spend the rest of your life doing? However, along with being successful on Instagram, Anna had aspirations to work within the medical field for most of her life. To this day, no details have been uncovered as to what exactly she was studying in the medical field, but she did eventually get into medical school in Russia and was studying hard to get her degree. Although Anna had grown up without having a father or even a father figure in her life, it certainly seemed as though she had a good life that was full of hopes, dreams, and ambitions, much like any other young adult has. During this time, Anna would take notice of model pages on Instagram, and out of her admirations, something clicked within her. Anna then decided to make an account herself, in which she frequently uploaded photos and videos of herself posing in various different
Doing like a
fashionable
normal
outfits,
teen.
which
Okay.
drew lots of attention. She even posted the occasional travel photo as well, posing in various places within Europe, including in front of the Eiffel Tower and in front of luxury stores that many people dream of going to, such as Gucci and Prada. This showcased to her followers that she was not messing around when it came to her modeling ambitions. A handful of other photos that have been retrieved from her account include photos of her at parties, smiling with friends. These people surely had no idea what their close and seemingly trustworthy friend was truly capable of deep down inside.
It's gonna be a lot of ads on
Squarespace
this.
lets you run your
No
brand like
cap.
a business with e-commerce and more.
Got the dog.
Social media is definitely a tricky gig, and it takes many content creators ages to get their posts in the public eye before they start to even get a little bit of internet fame. Some get lucky and manage to rack up a huge amount of followers and likes without having to work too hard at it, whereas others have to continuously tweak their profiles, hashtags, and photo quality to find followers. It seems as though Anna had immense luck by following her own path and found success on the platform relatively quickly.
I ain't gonna say luck, because we already know why she got famous quick. Come on. She's a female, and look how she looks. I bet most of her followers was guys. Let's be honest here. Come on, Chills, you know. It's like if I tell my girl to do fucking what, OnlyFans or some shit, I bet her shit would skyrocket because she's a female. If I tell my best friend to do it, to do OnlyFans or something like that, it'll take them like a minute, like 3 years to get to where my girl get to. That's how life works.
By doing a Google search,
Say
you will
it.
be able to
Feminism.
find out exactly when Anna started to model for her Instagram account, but chances are it was in the past few years, and over that time Anna amassed a follower count of approximately 10,000, which is a number most on the platform these days can only dream of. What do you do with the knowledge that so many people are fans of your account, and more specifically you? People didn't follow Anna on Instagram because they simply felt like it. They followed her because they liked her for who she was. Seeing photos of her on vacation or posing in front of high-end fashion shops garnered the attention of thousands of people, and Anna was well on her way to becoming fairly successful on the platform. Perhaps not too far away from gaining much more followers than she could dream of. However, her success was short-lived.
Chapter 3.
Although Anna continued to post on Instagram for her 10,000 followers on a regular basis, things were starting to get dark in Anna's life. She began experimenting with drugs, and she was likely suffering from severe depression. During her peak as a model on social media, Anna began to use an undisclosed amount of...
That's what I'm saying. Not all the people that y'all see on Instagram, on YouTube, on all this social media platforms, they're not all happy. Some people have depression, anxiety, bad ones, where they cause taking their life and all that stuff, or taking somebody else's life. So be aware about that. Not everybody's happy behind the screen, so behind a photo or a picture or a video, anything like that. There's always something deep and dark within them that they battling. Man, it's sad, but it's the truth.
Of drugs, and to this day, only Anna's mother knows exactly what kind of substance she frequently took. It must not have been anything light, because Anna's mother was less than pleased with her daughter's frequent substance abuse. Anna's mother, Preskova, was about to leave to go on a trip to Germany,
That's
but
like
she had
people
been
on
getting
Disney
suspicious
Channel.
about her daughter
When they
because
start
Anna
off
was
little
starting
as
to display
actors,
erratic
they get
behavior
to the
and lashing
drugs
out
fast,
at her.
man.
something that
crazy.
she had never done before.
They
It is
ruined
said
their
that
fucking,
growing up, Anna and
career.
Praskova were actually quite close and spent lots of times doing things together. To be fair, any parents would be concerned if they found out their own child had a substance abuse problem, and Praskova was no exception to the rule. There are many shows on television focused around trying to help individuals who are struggling from substance abuse to ensure that they get the help they desperately need before things get too out of hand. Shows like Dr. Phil try to help those who are battling with substance use to get the support they need. Shows like Intervention do whatever they can to help individuals get treatment before they inevitably pass away.
I'm gonna say this. Sometimes I don't believe in that Dr. Phil shows or Judge Judy and all that stuff. I feel like it's just acting. They're really not there to help people or solve something. I feel like they just there for money as actors. You know, it's hard because people get mind tricked on about these things, man. Dr. Phil, I remember they said he has a ranch that abuse people when they trying to get help. Come on now. And I'm not even gonna say the R word, but some people know. They say he is, but until it comes out that it's true or not, I'm not gonna say nothing about that. I'm watching you, boy.
Away from substance abuse. Anna's mother, Praskova, was not necessarily angry with her daughter, but rather concerned, upset, disappointed, and above all else, scared. Although she was feeling these emotions, more than anything else, she just wanted her daughter to stop taking drugs and find help. Any parent's worst nightmare is having to bury their own child. It's simply not the way things are meant to be. Kids are supposed to outlive their parents, not the other way around. It's genuinely hard to imagine what it would be like if you were in that position, and Praskova did not want to find out for herself, so she did whatever she could to ensure that her daughter was taken care of and found help before things got out of hand. Sadly for Praskova, things were not as easy as sitting down and having a talk with Anna. Praskova was on a trip to Germany for unknown reasons, and it is believed that during her time away from home was when she found out that her daughter was using substances. She planned on having a proper sit-down conversation with Anna when she got back home from Germany. Upon her arrival home, Praskova did exactly that. She sat down with her daughter to try to convince her to stop using drugs. While she was talking to Anna about her substance abuse, the young woman became infuriated with her mother about having to talk about this topic. She thought that it wasn't her mother's place to intervene with her activities, and as is often the case, it's not as simple as sitting down and telling them to stop. It takes much, much more. But luckily, Praskova was one step ahead of her daughter. At this point, the two got into what sounds like a massive argument, which was when Praskova admitted to Anna that she had already made arrangements for her to get flown out for treatment. Unfortunately, this just made Anna even angrier. The two got into a big shouting match. But what happened next most definitely took Praskova by complete surprise, as well as the rest of the world, judging by her various Instagram photos and her personality online, which looked to be a fun-loving type. Nobody would be able to guess what Anna was capable of. Anna appeared to be a typical young adult with big dreams and ambitions, but on that day, they would all get dashed.
As a creator, having access to ArtGrid's industry-leading stock footage has really helped my videos stand.
Look all innocent in the photo, she turned to a killer in the
abuse and
behind
already
the
arranging
scenes.
for treatment angered Anna to the point of
She's
no
one
return.
of those killer dreams.
And what she did next shocked the world. This made people open their eyes and shook their trust in who they follow on social media, and for good reason. It is said that at some point during the mother and daughter's argument, Anna stormed out of the room only to come back wielding a knife, more than likely shocked at her daughter's sudden act of rage. Praskova prepared to defend her life, but no preparation could have stopped Anna in her rage. She allegedly stabbed her mother repeatedly with the kitchen knife and left her on the floor for an undetermined amount of time. If something like this were to ever happen to you, you would hope that your death would be immediate so that you wouldn't have to suffer the pain and agony of blood loss and the many knife-inflicted wounds. Sadly, Praskova was not so lucky. She laid on the floor, bleeding out for an unknown amount of time, suffering
she's
from the
feeling
blood
that
loss
pain,
at a rapid
man.
rate. Dying from this would already be a terrible thing, and it's a fate that nobody wants to suffer. But what happened next is without a doubt the most twisted thing of all. Allegedly, Anna had already stabbed her mother and left her bleeding out with little hope of survival. But she was not quite done with her mother yet.
What?
After a few minutes had gone by, Anna decided to walk over to her dying mother and proceeded to carve out her intestines, pulling them out of her body. If that isn't sickening and absolutely brutal enough, the young woman then pulled her own mother's heart straight out of her chest. Now, of course, when this story made headlines, millions of people from around the world were absolutely shocked and couldn't understand how somebody could not only stab their own mother in such a horrific way, but then...
That's sick. That's sick. I'm 100% sure she's not in her right mind. I'm 100% sure she's not in her right mind. Ain't no, I mean, I'm not gonna say ain't no. There are some human beings that are just not right that could do that. Like literally have the will to hold a fucking knife and carve somebody's heart out. Somebody like you're like you in that Lulu bin, like your mind is gone. Like I don't know. Like it's either two things to me. You either possessed or you just like that. Actually no, it's three. Possess, the drugs, because drugs make you do the craziest shit, or you just crazy. You just mentally messed up, man. You mentally messed up. That's sad, bro. That's sad. You can't.
Cut out their intestines and heart. Keep in mind, Preskova confronted Anna about her alleged substance use. The mother and daughter were allegedly remarkably close and didn't get into arguments very often at all. Because of this, the story has made people wonder how this seemingly innocent and fun-loving girl had so much rage and fury within her that she could be capable of committing such a heinous and unthinkable act, let alone to her mother, the person that she had been close to her entire life. Usually when somebody commits murder or some other seriously horrific crime, the perpetrator will start to feel guilty and remorseful almost immediately, with some even breaking down and crying or losing their composure, no matter how hard they try to maintain themselves. However, Anna Likovic did something much more chilling and bizarre. Now that her mother lay dead inside the home, Anna proceeded to walk inside to the shower and rinse herself.
She took a shower! God damn it. Ah! Shit. She took a goddamn shower. Oh. She took a shower, bro. She don't give a fuck. She took a shower. That's, man. Damn. She took a shower. I mean, most people don't know, like, I mean, I don't know. Let me just say that out. Clear the air, you know. Most people, if they kill somebody, you know, they gonna feel remorse, like, oh man, I shouldn't have done it, like all that type of stuff. But like I told y'all, something's wrong. Like she went to take a shower. Like a dead body's laying in the kitchen or whatever in the living room. She's taking a hot shower. Not even thinking nothing of it. Man.
Off without a single care in the world. To this day, it's debated whether or not Anna recognized the full severity of her actions due to her complete lack of emotion during this whole incident, or whether she is just evil or insane. There are solid arguments on both sides, making it an interesting debate for anybody who takes part. On one hand, you could say that Anna was too young and naive to understand that she just took a life, her mother's for that matter, and the consequences of her actions did not sink in as they would if she was older or more mature. She could have also been in shock, not recognizing the severity of her actions. But on the other hand, you could say that she is purely evil or insane, because after all, how do you not only murder your own mother and rip out her internal organs like they're nothing,
her heart,
and then take a shower all while showing no emotion? Whichever way you look at it, it's clear that Anna is not the innocent Instagram model that she led her 10,000 followers to believe. After Anna was finished taking her shower and allegedly rinsing all remains of her mother's blood off of her face and body, she displayed even more signs of not recognizing the severity of her actions, because afterward, she phoned up her boyfriend and decided to meet with him afterward and spend the day together, like it was just some regular day with nothing exciting going on. Even today, it is not known if Anna had told...
What was that show? It used to come on TV a lot. It was like I'm with a killer or something. Like not knowing I'm dating a killer or something. This should be on there. She calls her boyfriend. The body is still in the house. She got in the shower. She had the audacity to get dressed and go out with her boyfriend. Like nothing of it. Your mom is laying down on the floor dead, bro. You took her organs out. Like all seriousness, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Told her unnamed boyfriend about the murder she allegedly committed that day. But even if she hadn't, there's no way the boyfriend does not know about the brutal crime nowadays. It definitely makes you wonder, though, if Anna did tell her boyfriend she murdered her mother, what would he do? You may think that he obviously would call the police or break up with her, but our world is so insanely crazy and full of evil people that it's not hard to wonder if he was okay with Anna's actions.
That's true.
With a crime this heinous being committed by someone who initially came across as an innocent young woman, you would certainly hope that police officers or other emergency respondents would somehow hear about Praskova's murder as soon as possible, but that's not necessarily the case. The police arrived at the Likovic house 2 full hours later and were shocked at the discovery that they made: the lifeless body of Praskova Likovic, whose internal organs had been removed, and who had stab wounds surrounding her chest. However, it did not take the police long at all to suspect that the person who had murdered Praskova was her own daughter, Anna, because all the evidence was there, laid out in front of them, and they had all the information they needed to go ahead and follow through with an arrest.
That's probably was the most easiest evidence for the detective in the whole entire world. They walked into the house, saw the dead body, saw probably all the stuff she dropped on the floor or upstairs in the bathroom. They was like, okay. Oh, yeah. Of course. Her daughter did it. They only took, 5 minutes? And they probably took the rest of the day off. Because they thought it was going to be hard. Some evidence take 3 hours to do or figure out, all that, jazz. That joint only took 5 minutes probably. Not even 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Because all the stuff was on the floor. Not add 5 minutes because they do have to figure out the fingerprints and all. But she was wearing clothing and her blood. All that shit she did. Blood probably on her clothes and all that stuff.
When they were asked questions by various different newspapers and publications, the police said they had no other suspect on their list and that they are positive that Anna was the one who committed the murder.
They know.
It's genuinely fascinating to think about how far police DNA technology has come, because if this exact crime had happened several decades ago, there's honestly no telling whether or not the police would have figured out the culprit was Anna so quickly. From this point on, Details are definitely scarce as to how they tracked Anna down so fast and whether or not she was willing to cooperate with the police, but nothing has come out to suggest otherwise.
I'm feeling like she about to kill herself.
Upon charging Anna based on their suspicions that she was the one who murdered Preskova, she was scheduled to appear in court in December of 2020. She did appear, but if any of the courtroom officials were expecting Anna to show remorse or look sad while in the building, they were gravely mistaken. Upon arriving at the courtroom, Anna almost immediately started to display some seriously questionable behavior that gave off some big red flags right from the start. If you are truly innocent of the crimes you are being accused of committing, it would be a no-brainer to show up in courts and act mature and try your best to tell your side of the story. Court hearings are obviously an incredibly stressful time for people who are both guilty and innocent because your life is quite literally in the hands of the jury and the judge. They are the people who will ultimately have the final say as to whether or not you will be sent to jail or walk out the door as an innocent person. And depending on the crime you've committed, if guilty, you can spend the rest of your life in confinement. A crime like this would surely land somebody in prison for life. All it takes is a quick watch of crime shows on television to see that even those who are guilty of crimes try to persuade the judge to see their side of the story and convince them that they are innocent. However, Anna could not be bothered with any of that. While she was in court, she was seen playing around with her nails and keeping her head bowed down, almost as if she did not want to make direct eye contact with anybody in the room. Could this be a sign that perhaps she finally understands that there is no way she is going to get out of this sticky situation? It is entirely possible, although some could argue that perhaps she was simply bored and did not want to be in court, especially since some hearings can go on for a number of hours. Playing with your nails in court is already a bad look, as it shows the judge and the other individuals who are watching that you are nervous, and as a result, people may wonder why you'd be nervous unless you've committed the crime. But Anna's strange and questionable behavior did not stop at just that. She was occasionally seen giggling while sitting down in the courtroom chairs, and at one point, a reporter proceeded to ask Anna if she really did do the horrific things that happened to her mother, and Anna did something that nobody could have predicted. Instead of simply answering the question, Anna proceeded to laugh in an extremely creepy manner and then say goodbye as she left the courthouse. Unfortunately, it is a little bit difficult to find a lot of courtroom footage from when Anna was in attendance, but it is safe to say that the judge and the other officials in the courtroom were more than likely a bit creeped out by Anna's erratic behavior. Most people that commit crimes such as this one will do their best to get out of it, or maybe even justify their actions, but not Anna. Hearing what she did well in court, it almost seems as though she had accepted her fate and is borderline proud of what she did. I feel the need to re-mention that Anna and her mother Preskova actually had a strong relationship with one another and were very close when Anna was just a child, and through most of Anna's life, the uncle of the family, who has not been named, said that the Likovic family was incredibly loving and everybody got along perfectly fine. And when he heard about the brutal crime that Anna had been accused of, he was shocked and couldn't believe what he was hearing. Imagine getting informed that one of your relatives had just been murdered, and no more than by another one of your relatives. The grief and pain that it would inevitably cause would be more irreparable, no matter how many years the culprit got locked up in prison for. Now this story has been quite disturbing so far, to say the least, so before we get into the fate of Anna Likovic, let's lighten the mood with 10 interesting facts about kitties. Number 1. The longest cat who has ever lived was named Cream Puff from Austin, Texas, who managed to live to the incredible age of 38 years and 3 days old. Number 2. Cats have the unique ability to heal themselves simply by purring. Domestic cats in particular purr at frequencies between 25 and 150 hertz, which happens to be the frequency where bones and muscles can grow best and repair. Number 3. You may have seen photos of cats drinking milk before, but surprisingly enough, they are actually lactose intolerant and should avoid it if possible.
That's what I thought, because
the cat's cerebral cortex contains about twice as
I had a cat and he didn't like milk. He was like, "Look at this, nigga, give me some water." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Hey, I tall.
many neurons as that of dogs. Cats have 300 million neurons, while dogs have only about 160 million. Number 5. Sir Isaac Newton has been credited with designing the pet door that millions of cats around the world use to enter homes. If you have a cat, you more than likely have one of these. Number 6. If you ever see a group of cats together, that's actually known as a clouder. Number 7.
Clouder.
Although cats have 2 eyes, much like us humans, they surprisingly have 3 eyelids. Number 8. Cats actually have dreams just like us. They start dreaming when they reach a week old. Number 9. Cats have 24 more bones than humans do. And lastly, number 10. In ancient Egypt, when an individual's house cat passed away, the owner would shave their eyebrows to reflect their grief. Now back to the story.
Oh, kitties.
Hi everyone, we are the Story Girls. This is how Fiverr helped
The
us turn our scary
Kittens!
bathroom into the bathroom of our dreams. If you guys
Trials and sentencing can oftentimes be a scary and nerve-wracking process for all parties and individuals involved for a large number of reasons. For one, the person that is suspected of committing the crime in question would most likely be the most nervous among them all because they are the person who may or may not be getting sent to jail. Obviously, if you committed an extremely terrible crime such as murder, chances are you're probably going to be sent to prison for a long time, if not for the rest of your life, depending on the incident and also what country you are from. It would also be a long and tumultuous process for the families of the person who was murdered because their own loved one was taken from them not only too soon but at the hands of another human being. As their surviving family, you hope that the person accused of committing the crime gets sent to prison for the rest of their life, so while you're in the courtroom, you definitely feel a ton of nerves as you pray the judge makes the correct decision. Sometimes, however, families are absolutely shattered in some instances when judges find the person not guilty, or maybe they just don't sentence them for as long as the family hoped for. Another aspect, if there is a jury, they must ensure that they agree upon the same verdict, or else it will delay the sentencing even further. The jury arguably has one of the most important roles in any trial because they are responsible for determining whether or not the person accused of the crimes is guilty or not. But the most important role in a courtroom is undoubtedly the judge, because they are the ones who are responsible for sentencing the guilty individual and determining the amount of time they will be in confinement for. Trials are supposed to be done as quick as possible in order to get things moving, so sentencing can be doled out, making sure that no party has to wait an extensive period of time to finish the trial, especially the grieving family trying to find at least a sliver of peace. At the time of making this video, Anna Likovic has not been sentenced yet, which is definitely disheartening considering the aspiring Instagram model was accused of committing the crime and appeared in court in December of 2020. So it has definitely been a lengthy period of time since this whole incident occurred, yet for whatever reason, nothing has happened in the case. Researching the trial, it is difficult to find any explanation as to why Anna has not been sentenced, or why the trial has not been moved forward since December, and no official statement.
Two things. They trying to see if she's senile, messed up in the head, or she actually did it. And just don't give a fuck in the world. That's why. That's the only reason why it's taking that long. Because they're not trying to put a crazy person in prison with other people where she just gonna go like Chucky Slay on them.
Has been made by Moldova courts. Police spokeswoman Lubov Yanik said, "The detainee is the main suspect. There is no likelihood of other suspects. However, there is one piece of information that has been released that is definitely one of the most infuriating things you will hear in a long time. As I mentioned earlier, depending on what country you are in and depending on certain circumstances in the crime, the person who is accused of committing a crime may not be sentenced for the same amount of time as other individuals. It all depends on a variety of circumstances, but undoubtedly murder charges lead to huge sentences, and you more than likely have to spend the rest of your life behind bars for committing such an unthinkable crime. I'm sure the surviving members of the Likovic family are hoping that Anna gets sent to prison for an extremely long time, if not for life, for taking the life of the very woman that gave birth to her. Unfortunately, they are not going to get their wish. The judge that is overseeing the case has stated that Anna is not going to receive life in prison, and that news alone is definitely quite upsetting to hear. Keep in mind, this is an individual who is accused of not only stabbing her mother several times in a fury of rage, but also proceeded to rip out her internal organs such as her intestines and heart. After that, she showered, went to her boyfriend's house, and acted as if she did nothing wrong, and in court, as mentioned, she was seen laughing, implicating that she was not taking this case seriously whatsoever. But although she will not get life in prison, you would hope that she would at least get sentenced to prison for several decades at the bare minimum. That way the punishment seems at least semi-fair and justice can be properly served. But that is not going to happen either. The judge that is overseeing the trial shocked almost everybody when he announced that if Anna does get convicted of the murder, she is only going to receive a sentence of 13 years in prison.
What?
In Moldova, judges are not allowed to sentence a woman to life in prison no matter what crime they are accused of committing is. Naturally, when the judge announced the extremely short prison sentence that could be doled out if she is found guilty, people on the internet did not take too lightly to it, with many calling for laws in Moldova to be changed. Something else that is genuinely crazy and completely sickening to think about is the fact that after Anna was accused of this crime, for some reason, she gained an additional 2,000 to 3,000 followers on her Instagram modeling page. This, of course, begs the question, why would so many people want to follow a woman who is accused of killing her own mother and ripping out her heart and internal organs? Do these 2,000 to 3,000 people genuinely believe that Anna is innocent, and they're following her as their way to show support?
Social media is sick, bro. After hearing that, she only getting 13 years. She probably what? She look like she's still in the teens. She gonna... Oh my God. She gonna be at least 30 or something. She'll have a whole life to live. And she still got a platform that will literally follow her. Oh my gosh. Those are some sick people. Social media could be a weird place at the same time as a good place. It could be weird, but it could be good for people. It could be weird, good. There's some weird people out here, bro. You gotta watch out, man. She gained an extra 3,000 followings because she murdered her mom. Oh, they think she innocent. Child, please.
To her, or did they follow her simply because they just felt like it and wanted to see if her account would ever have any updates made to it? I'm hoping for the latter because I don't want to believe that so many people would willingly follow somebody who is accused of murder. The sad thing about this whole situation too is that if Anna had not committed the insane atrocities that she is accused of, who knows what kind of bright future may have been awaiting her, because she had over 10,000 followers on her Instagram account before committing the crime. But she was definitely well on her way to finding at least a moderate amount of success on the platform. But much like any career, the longer and harder you work at it, the more chances of success you will have, and it seems like Anna had no problem gaining followers on Instagram. Posing in front of various stops throughout Europe, it is obvious that Anna most definitely wanted to find a career in modeling, as it was her #1 passion above anything else, and she uploaded photos to her modeling
but at the
page
end of the
whenever
day,
she had new photos to
when she
share
comes
with the
out,
world,
she's done.
which was quite often.
She's not gonna have no
because
job.
Anna is only 21 years old,
She gonna probably have to
literally
work
did
as
have
a
her
regular,
entire future ahead of her.
she gonna have to
21
find
is
something.
such an incredibly young age, and you have so much time on earth to accomplish a lot of things and achieve as many goals as you can before you eventually settle down in the later years of your life. But Anna is more than likely going to find herself in 13 years of retirement if she does get convicted. Hearing about this case, you just can't help but feel like this whole modeling career went to waste, because it is possible that Anna could have found plenty of success through her ambitions, and she more than likely could have made a bit of money on the platform had she kept growing her following over the next couple of years. Once you get past 10,000 followers, you will find it much easier to gain success now that you already have a lot of people following your page. They more than likely share your profile around, thus resulting in even more followers followers, but Anna went ahead and did something that would ruin her chances of ever becoming a model no matter what. But I do have to mention how incredibly important it is to keep in mind that Anna has not been officially convicted guilty of the crimes that she is accused of committing.
That's the scary part.
So as of recording this video, she is technically innocent, but the chances of her actually being the one that killed Preskova Likovic is extremely high. Unfortunately, if you are watching this video at the time of its upload date, Anna Likovic has still not been found guilty, which is...
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Is obviously leaving people to wonder when exactly the trial is going to resume. Sadly, as of now, no information can be found about the case's updates, but we can only hope that it will resume as soon as possible. In the meantime, however, we can all try our best to come up with possible motives as to why Anna, a young woman who is allegedly so close to her mother, would be the person who would end up taking her life. At the time of this recording, Anna Likovic is currently being treated in a psychiatric ward and has been in there ever since December after her trial.
That's what I'm saying.
And as mentioned before, there is no word to whether she will reappear in court.
And they did that. She's been there since her trial, so they trying to see if she's psychotic or not. They're trying to see if she's mentally abused or mentally health is bad or whatever. But I'm believing since she's been there, since it's no update in court, she's probably using the system. She probably like, oh man, I really feel bad. I don't know what was going on with me. And the judge is looking at this like, keep her there for 13 years or something. Gonna hold this off and all that stuff and be like not guilty or whatever. I don't know if they could do that, but hey, it's crazy. She's using that. She's using it. She's using it.
Details of her stay in the psychiatric ward have not been made public, but it is more than likely a horrific experience for many. However, for somebody like Anna, who is most likely crazy, it might offer the help she needs. Some people who are accused of a crime will try their best to act insane so they can be sent off to a mental institution, because they feel as though if that happens to them, they won't get as harsh of treatment as they would if they were sent off to a traditional prison. But that is simply not the case at all. Some people that have successfully tricked police and court officials into believing that they are insane and got sent off to these institutions have come out worse than they did when they were transported there in the first place. This is because the psychological toll of being around other legitimately insane individuals is incredibly intense, and if you are not as crazy as you say you were before going to the institution, you certainly will be upon leaving. And Anna's stay at the psychiatric ward comes with some very notable concerns. As we speak, she is still getting evaluated at the ward, which the name of has not been officially disclosed, so we don't know a whole lot of details regarding the treatment she is getting there. However, if Anna does get found to have an unstable state of mind, then the sentence of 13 years in prison will be reduced even lower. Although the exact number it can get lowered to has not been disclosed, even the thought and possibility that Anna won't have to serve that long of a prison sentence is absolutely baffling. This story is definitely one of the most chilling things I've come across in quite some time, and really opened my eyes as to how some people are not as they seem. Anna looked like your average Instagram model that you may follow and not think twice about, only to show her true colors in the most vicious and shocking way possible. It may be difficult to believe that such an innocent-looking individual could commit such an atrocious crime, but after all, the world has a strange way of showing us who people truly are, and unfortunately, we all had to find out the hard way who Anna Likovic truly is.
That's crazy. The only thing I can say is people out there, man, on social media, on all platforms, like I said, that could look good and have all these things, but behind the scenes, behind the lights, behind the camera, deep, dark stuff is happening to them that they can't get out of. Depression, anxiety, mental health, like mental abuse and all that stuff, and all that. Like hurt someone and all that, man. That's no joke. Like the depression and the anxiety and that mental like stableness, like you have to have like a clear mind, man. Don't act out of anger or emotions, because punishment is real. And over here, I don't know what's going on in that country, but over here you will get life or death. I don't give a rat ass who you are, like a female or male. You talk to somebody who you love, who you close with, man. If you're going through something, it's no joke out here. You know, everybody have those days where you feel like, damn, it's getting tough on me. Like, damn, I don't know if I could do it. Go talk to somebody. Go talk to your best friend. Go talk to your mom, your neighbors, whoever that you feel comfortable with. Because at the end of the day, they really love you. That's all it is, man. Just go talk. It takes that one step to feel better. And just go express yourself to somebody. And they will help you out. I bet you 100% they'll lead you in the right path. Trust me. I've been there. But that's it for the video. Stay blessed. Stay humble. Keep grinding. Remember, your loved ones love you. Man, I love y'all. Until the next.